If you have ever wondered what it would be like to love your own hair texture, or you have a concern for your daughter or daughters and care about them loving their hair texture or not struggling with liking their own hair the way you might have struggled up until this point. Or summarily, you can say yes to the question, do I want to like my own hair? Then this video is for you. So it's probably been about a month now since I cut my hair. And I don't know why I thought I could cut my hair without a big announcement and you guys wouldn't notice. You guys more than noticed. You commented, some of you even screamed. Everything was all love and all support. I have not gotten a single negative comment, negative glance, nothing, no negative energy, nothing from any one of you in person or online. And I appreciate the love. If you care to know, I have been enjoying the journey. I have really been enjoying it a lot more than I anticipated, actually, which is good. I happen to have a syndrome called hand in hair syndrome. If I have judged anyone for having that issue, please forgive me because I'm struggling with it right now. I'm struggling with it. My hand is always in my hair, and anywhere I sit, my hand is in my hair, and I can just see the hair, like the broken hairs all over by the time I get up. And sometimes that's even how I know my hand had been in my hair, right? Like our hair breaks every single time you touch it, and that's evidence of it. Sometimes it happens in very small amounts that is not visible to our eyes, but it's big enough that it will reflect in your hair over time. So a solution I have come up with in my hair, hand in hair syndrome. Let's see if it works. I think it's working so far, but let's see. If I wouldn't override the solution to actually style the hair, to at least comb it out the way I have combed it out now, subconsciously I wouldn't want to disturb the style and then I would take my hands off, hopefully. Let's see how that goes. So what we are talking about today is something that I have noticed has been coming up in conversations a lot lately with women that I've spoken to, especially since I cut my hair. It's been a thing, but I think because of my journey, women find it more comfortable, to bring up this topic, particularly with me. And it's about falling in love with your own texture, how to actually fall in love or get to like your own hair texture. And some of these women actually also desire that their children or their daughters fall in love with their own textures. Some mothers have straight hair or they carry their hair straight, relaxed, or they use heat all the time, or they find other ways to straighten their hair and keep it straight, or they carry styles that don't flaunt their own hair texture, and their daughter has her natural hair out. And so there's that divide of the thing where as a child there's certain things you're not allowed to do as a child, and so you think of those things as, oh, things that only adults get to do. And so therefore, that's something I aspire to become or I aspire to do when I grow up. Kind of making the thing a superior thing, to whatever it is you're doing now. So it's almost like our daughters have that in their minds now. When I grow up, I'll be able to relax my hair. When I grow up, I'll be able to straighten my hair, which is like a more mature version of whatever it is that they are now. And so they're not learning to love what it is that they have now, because mommy carries her hair straight. So when I grow up, when I become an adult, or when I get older, then I would be able to look like mommy, right? And I can tell that there's a lot of concern there for some women that I have spoken to, and that's why I decided to address this topic today. So in this video, I'm going to go through a few things that I did or that I'm also still currently doing on my journey to make sure that I stay in love with my hair, and a few things I've also taken a few women through. The first thing you need to do if you are serious about falling in love with your own hair texture is to join the Tresscare challenge. Join the Tresscare Brush Strap Length challenge. In that challenge, we'll go through it in detail. We'll go through it and we would actually do exercises that are best suited for you, personalized to you, customized to you. However, if you want to work on this by yourself, there are a few generic things that I can go through now that you can execute on your own. First off, if you have relaxed hair, consider transitioning to Texlax hair. That's what I did. I didn't do it because I was trying to love my hair, but inadvertently, that's exactly how my own journey started. As I've mentioned before on this channel, I wanted to have more volume in my hair. And if it comes with a bit more health, right? Because we all know that the more relaxed your hair is, the more impacted the integrity of your strands are. So I wanted more volume, and if it's healthier too, then why not? So I transitioned to Texlac hair. So that's the first thing I would say you should do. The second thing, which is actually faster to do, is to make sure that you follow content creators on the internet who romanticize your texture. Look for anyone that has your type of texture, and anyone who romanticizes it does not talk about how difficult it is to take care of, does not talk about how they spend 3 days on their hair or a full day on their hair. They talk about how easy the hair is. They talk about how soft the hair is. They talk about the texture and how beautiful it is because we have the curliest hair texture in the world. They educate you on things like that. They show you what your hair can do. They romanticize the process of wash day or when they're styling their hair. And the things they like about their hair are things that are naturally occurring in your own hair as well. Follow those kind of content creators. I'll give you two examples of people that I follow that were very instrumental in my journey. Number one is Yas Sudani. Number two is Paige Lewin. Those are the two main accounts that have contributed very seriously to my own journey. There are so many other accounts actually, but those two main accounts, they are almost dedicated to that topic, to showing you the beautiful things about your own hair. Because the reason you've not fallen in love with your own hair so far is because you've been should I say bamboozled with so much content about how beautiful straight hair is or how beautiful bouncy curls are, big bouncy full voluminous, curls are, and you just haven't had enough of your own texture being represented to you. And that programming has happened on a very subconscious level. It happens in movies, it happens in adverts, it happens in music videos, it happens very subconsciously, whether or not the topic is hair. Another thing I'll tell you to do is to begin to play around with kinky extensions. Afro textured extensions, begin to play around with them, begin to do styles with them, see yourself in those styles, and consider if you see yourself in the mirror and you like them. But this is for people with relaxed hair. This particular point of playing with kinky extensions does not apply to you if you have natural hair. Yes, it's not only people who have relaxed hair or carry their hair straight that have difficulty loving their own texture. People that carry their hair out natural and make even natural hairstyles also struggle with their own textures. I think that's a fallacy that I had definitely fallen for. When I see someone carrying their own natural hair texture or making a style that's, natural hair encouraging or enabling, I think I used to subconsciously believe, oh, they've accepted their own texture. I could not be more wrong. So, as I said, if you do want to take this very seriously and you want to be serious about this, you want to make sure that you have a good boost in your journey, whether to kick it off or to take it to another level, even if you started already. Do join the challenge. The challenge is not expensive at all. It's 100,000 naira. It's 5 days with me one on one. Originally, the challenge is designed to audit your entire healthcare system and make sure that you are actually on track for your own goals. It's called the brush strap length challenge because that's a lofty goal that some of us only dream of, right? So typically, the program will help you achieve whatever goals it is you have in mind up to brush strap length. And if you are going to waist length, the program will still help you. That's also still something that you can join, even though it's tagged brush strap length challenge. So although it was originally designed to provide a very thorough audit, we have now included this framework to help make sure that we are also working on you loving your hair texture if that's a goal for you. So in the beginning on day one, if you've already been through the program, you can testify to this that on day one, we would make sure that we take note of your goals. So one of the options I'm going to ask you, if this is a goal for you, is whether or not you care about falling in love with your own texture, right? And we now have a step-by-step process that I would walk you through, give you exercises to make sure that you do, some of which I have already mentioned earlier. It's been fun for those who have gone through a bit of it at the time where the framework was still being developed. There's a lady that I asked sometime last year, early last year, if she cared about her own hair. And she told me no. What's her business with her hair? She doesn't care. Um, she doesn't have time for her hair. She doesn't care. And I have come to understand on this journey, right, that from experience with talking to a lot of you, I've come to understand that sometimes when you say you don't care about your hair, that's should I say statements is a lot of time coming from you giving up on your hair or you believing your hair can't amount to much, can't do much, and that's why you don't care about your hair. So in this example I'm about to give, she actually cares about her hair. Or she cared about her hair at the time, but it was hidden under layers of disappointments. Oh, my hair is just not good enough. My hair, I have to use extensions to even be presentable outside. My hair cannot get thicker than this. It's just how our African hair is. But I insisted and I continue to talk to her about hair. I typically don't do this. She's actually a friend. That's why I insisted. But I typically don't insist for people who I'm not that close to. Just know that somehow I was able to convince her to start to texlax her hair. And she decided to, right? And then there was a day she was looking for a salon that she would go to texlax her hair. And I was explaining to her how the salon itself doesn't actually matter. If you know exactly what you are doing, if you know exactly what you want, as long as the person is willing to listen to you, you're good. But she was bugging me. She kept sending me different salons to vet for her. And I would do my best to, check them out and see, tell her my thoughts about them. But she would still be, on my neck. So I was like, girl, you know exactly what to do by now. Just go ahead and execute, regardless of where you find yourself. Because I think she had some issues with appointments or fixing dates and whatnot. And do you know what she said to me? When I asked her why is she so, concerned about this thing? Like she should just go ahead with it already. And she said in her words, "Cause I love my hair now, thanks to you." That blew my mind. That's transformation right there. And I was so pleased, so warm hearted. I was so happy. It felt so warm inside me to hear that. She said that she now loves her hair thanks to me. And I was like, wow, to move from, you guys need to experience the mental block that she had when it came to the topic of her hair, whether or not she likes it. She was very, she doesn't care. She really doesn't have time for that, right? And she's also a very busy 9 to 5 hour. So she genuinely did not have time, or so she thought. So I can certainly help you with this type of transformation if you join the challenge that I'm inviting you on. There's someone who I worked with, and this was a major topic in the challenge. You might have seen a review or two from her on the internet. And I'm going to read out a bunch of things that she actually said, her own words. And they're very heartwarming. But I just want to give you guys an insight into what it's like or what transformation is possible for you too. She said, "It's only been day two, and I feel like I am in therapy." She helped me interrogate my perception of neat hair in quotes. Tresscare clocked my tea. She said Tresscare clocked my tea because I asked her if she would have liked her hair, a hairstyle that she made, by the third week of making it, if it looked exactly like that on day one. Okay, so if you make your hair today, your hair is usually nice and neat and, yeah. Fast forward the time to 3 weeks' time, and some hair will be more loose, your hair will be a bit more frizzy looking. So, my question is if you make your hair today and your hair looks like what it will look like in 3 weeks' time, would you still like the hair? Considering that that particular hairstyle 3 weeks down the line, it's you still considered it neat enough to carry out. You still would wear it, dress up, do your makeup, use perfume, smell good, look good, feel good. You still show up at high-end events. You still show up to church. You still show up to wherever it is that you go out to, and you still feel good. But if that hair was just one day old, would you still be that comfortable with the hair? So that's a soul searching and internal work related question that I asked her. And that's an example of a question that I tend to ask people when I'm digging into this topic of loving your own texture. So that's what she was referring to when she said Treske clocked my tea. LOL in her words. And then she said, I'm going to come out a new woman at the end of this challenge. She has helped me interrogate my fixation on sleek natural hair too. I left that session with Tresscare with a lot of food for thought. And this is my favorite part of everything that she had to say. She said, and after we had that discussion, I suddenly had new eyes that made me think, actually, I like the volume it gives me. That's the transformation right there, guys. That's the transformation right there, where she began to look at her natural hair differently and realized that, oh, there's something my natural hair gives me that I actually like. It's just buried under a lot of judgment from me because of the standards I have imbibed as beauty standards over time. And finally, she said, Tresscare is doing the Lord's work. It's more than hair coaching. It's actually more like therapy, and I'm enjoying it so much. I highly recommend. This is what it's like to work with me. There are other ways to work with me. For example, there's the new Tresscare Concierge service, which is a very hands-off service, meaning everything is done for you. The styling, the caring, the thinking, all the brain work, all the research you need to do, considering if this style is good for you or is aligned with your goals or not. So I typically prefer to enroll via the challenge because that's a good way to check for fit. That's a good way to know what's needed per time. Especially because the concierge service is one that is also very malleable to what you need, and it's very adjustable. It's not fixed like other packages. You can check out packages on the Tresscare website, by the way, trescare.org/packages. You'd see everything there. But I would always recommend starting with the challenge if you don't know which to start with. There's a piece that loving your texture brings you, and it's a major part of the concept that we call hair freedom at Trescare. There's a piece that it gives you. I'll give you a very good example of what just happened to me. I think last week. I was trying to prep my hair for this particular YouTube video, and I thought of all the work that I had to do a wash and go. Um, that's a wash and go with finger coils. That's what I had in mind to do. And I was trying to arrange the days in my mind. Okay, so from so hour to so hour, I'll do this style. From so hour to, I'll wash my hair, I'll deep condition it, and then I'll start styling the hair. And I I just thought about it that why do I have to style my hair for the YouTube video? Why do I have to style my hair for the YouTube video? And I kept asking myself that question until I realized, oh, I think I may not need to. I think I could just comb it out, make it neat, and we're good to go, right? And that's exactly what I did. So that's an example of hair freedom because it really frees you of so much stress that you'd go through when it comes to your hair. Like I always say, if you can achieve hair freedom, you'd be able to break free of having to know exactly what hairstyle you're going to do next before you permit yourself to loosen the current one. That's a jail, some sort of bondage I remember being in myself before I started to achieve hair freedom, right? Where I know how to style my hair by myself for any event, for any random impromptu thing that comes up, right? So that's a major part of hair freedom. It's very functional. It's not just the emotional impact of do I love my hair? Do I not love my hair? Do I accept myself? Do I not accept myself? Apart from all that, functionally on a day-to-day basis, it's very, very freeing and it's a real part of the Trescare effortless hair care system. Does that make sense? That's part of what makes hair care effortless because the more stress, the more strain that goes into taking care of your hair, the more effortful it is, right? And we're trying to be as effortless as possible here. So that's it for today. And I'm going to end this video by saying something I will continue to say that Yas Sudani has said and that has helped me so far. And it goes like this. If you want to like something, you can. Until the next video, make it effortless.